What is up, everybody? Jester here, and today I'm going to show you why getting into these 5-star Sentinel fights on the ground is super important to your long game in No Man's Sky. So much to cover, so little time. Let's jump right in. The fights are going to start with having a decent multi-tool. Now, I'll put a card for how I got this one in the upper right-hand corner. You don't need one this high, but it is probably important to use the neutron cannon because it pretty much is the OP thing to have right about now. With that all sorted out, what I like to do is go out into space and search for these planets, the aggressive Sentinel planets. Now, you can do this on high Sentinel activity planets or any planet that you can see or find a Sentinel. But these aggressive planets, you just get into the fight that much faster because they're everywhere and they're basically monitoring your every move. Once in the atmosphere, I like to fly around until I find one of these settlements because I find it's easier to fight on a flat surface. So especially if you're on a planet that's got a lot of hills and stuff, it's a little bit more tough to navigate. But what you're basically looking for is that icon down there in the bottom right that shows the Sentinels are looking at you or in the area, and then you just start shooting. Just know that if you're using the neutron cannon, bring some carbon, because that's all it takes to recharge that. No reloads during the fight for the most part. And then if you're using anything else, you're going to need to make sure you got plenty of projectile ammo. Another big point of this is do not shoot the canisters that drop from these Sentinels that you're killing. It used to be that way where you could shoot them and collect. Now you actually have to go up, and for me, it's holding X on controller. About on wave 3, you're going to start running into the quads. And these guys are a little bit tougher, so hopefully you've got your exosuit upgraded for your personal shield or just your shielding a little bit better. But they're not too bad, especially if you got a high damage weapon. And from there, you're going to end up getting the quad servo, and I'm going to show you guys what to do with that here in just a little bit. But you're also going to get stuff like nanites, again, projectile ammo, salvage glass, which I'll show you what to do with here in a minute. And then eventually, once you take out the entire wave, there'll be another wave coming in. And it's a continuous fight at this point. And just know that on wave 5 is where it gets really kind of hairy. Wave 4, you're going to run into these mechs. And with a good weapon, they come down pretty quick and easy. Not too bad. I like to take out the little guys first and then try to collect as I go. And again, here's another quad. So we're going to end up with 2 quad servos out of this fight. But again, there's some pugnum. Like, there's lots of different things that you can get. This one is actually going to be the hard frame engine, which if you don't have your exomech upgraded, that's going to be what you need to do that through your settlement stuff. Once you hit wave 5, again, it's basically a wave shooter at this point. And I like to really just start working on these smaller Sentinels, especially the healing Sentinels. And they're not the triangle guys or the main drones, and you'll notice them. They're pretty small, not too tough to hit. Then once I get that done, I like to try to take out the bigger mechs and stuff before I go after the big guy. And here I've got a few little tips on this one, because this can be a little bit tricky sometimes as to how to get this guy down quickly. For me, again, we're taking out the healers and that type of stuff, and again, picking up these supplies. So what I do anyway, is I go after the legs first, and this is going to kind of put him in stun mode. And then I like to go over towards the right side and start shooting towards the back of his head, because that's going to break the plating. And then from there, just shoot. That's all you really have to do to take these guys down. Now, again, my weapon's massive, so it's a little bit different when it comes to how quickly I can do this as to what you might be able to do it. But if you get a weapon that's up there quite a ways, it won't be too hard. And also know that the thing you're mainly looking for out of these fights is going to be the walker brain. And you can collect one by going up and holding X, and then shoot the actual thing in there, and you're going to get a second walker brain out of each fight that you do every time you take down one of those walkers. Once the fight's all done and the canisters are all collected, you can look into your inventory, and one of a couple, if not both things, is going to happen. One of these Sentinel boundary maps might actually drop for you. And this is something you can take to any system and locate one of the next things, which is the Sentinel Nest. The fight might also actually just point you in the direction of a Sentinel Nest all on its own. Both are totally fine. It's going to take you to the same place, which is one of these, the Sentinel Pillars. And these are actually kind of fun. There's several different things you can do here, including turning off all the Sentinels in the area, which will basically destroy them. So you get canisters and stuff for free. So if you come across these in the wild, you can stop and shut down the Sentinels and then just pick up the quad servo and that kind of stuff, the hard frame engine, all that good things. But there's another different thing that you can do in here that is extracting the weapons technology. And this is basically free multi-tools, which is kind of cool. It's just another way to get multi-tools through fighting. The next thing that I want to explore now that we're done with our fight is going to be the salvaged glass. If you go in and extract the components from salvaged glass, it's going to give you one of a few things, two of which are going to be upgrades that you could actually go back and sell for nanites if you wanted to at any of the upgrade vendors, or you can use them. This is also something that I don't know if a lot of people know or not. One of those is going to be for your exosuit. The other is going to be for your multi-tool. And they're just little additional things that you can put in that won't actually overload your different technologies that you have in either or. This one, for example, gives you quite a bit of extra stats. And if you go over to the multi-tool, it's adding a pretty good fire rate, reload time, and damage stat to the already good multi-tool that we have. So use them as you will. With most of our loot sorted out, I'm sure you're wondering at this point, why do you want the walker brains, or why do you want these quad servos? And they do have very limited use, but it's kind of an important one. Let me show you. Basically, they're both recipe pieces, but they're kind of fun to play with. One thing you can do is craft the fuel oxidizer with the quad servo. This is going to give you better fuel mileage or better fuel efficiency out of your frigates when you send them out on missions. Another thing you can do is these explosive drones, which are great on combat missions, but just remember, these are all one-time use. So you craft one, you can use it once, and it's gone. What if I told you that these Sentinel pillars actually had another hidden thing that appears in them? It got kind of screwed up here in the last couple of updates, but they are still out there to find, and they look awesome. Every once in a while, if you get really, really lucky, you might run into a pillar like this, to where if you go in and you extract the weapons technology, it's actually got a completely different type of multi-tool that I bet a lot of you haven't even seen. And that's going to be this, the Royal Multi-Tool. This thing looks awesome. It looks like a little exotic ship. And I've been searching for one of these in the right color for a little while. I still haven't found it yet. But this one is kind of a gray with like a silver. Looks great. But also, if you go, when you find one of these pillars, put down a save point, go to another planet in the system and land, and then reload your autosave after you jump out of your ship, go back to the pillar, it's actually going to be a completely different colored multi-tool. The class will be the same. And I don't know about the slots because I've never really upgraded one, but here you can see it went to more of that gray and gold. So, and it's going to do this for each planet that's in the system. It's going to give you a different color. Here you can see it's blue and gold. This is all on the same pillar. And this one ended up having 7 because there was like 5 planets, a moon, and you can reload the space station. So there was like 7 different colors of this. And again, you can get these for absolutely free. They don't cost you a single dime. And all you gotta do is fix them up a little bit, and you can use them just like any other multi-tool you find out in the wild. Now, the next part isn't necessarily about a benefit of fighting, but you may run into a Sentinel pillar that has an S-Class multi-tool that you just don't want, but you want to go ahead and pick it up anyway. Because in the last update, they added something brand new. So let's say wherever you are, you find an S-Class cabinet at a settlement or space station or on a pillar. Go ahead and pick these up. Obviously, I don't want to use that one. It's kind of a pistol type. I don't really care for those. But now in the Space Anomaly up near Tethys is this terminal, and it works identically to the Starship terminal for upgrading that's in the space stations. Here you can actually decommission these multi-tools, and in S-Class, you're going to get back multi-tool expansion slots. I didn't get multi-tool expansions out of A or B class, but I did out of S. So if you see them, pick them up. And I also got S-Class upgrades, so that's going to help you out when you do find your forever multi-tool. Hopefully this helped to illustrate just how important fighting has become in No Man's Sky. You used to be able to get away without doing much fighting. Now I think it's almost a necessity. If you want to get those upgrades for your frigates, or you want to get your exomech upgraded through your settlement, whatever it might be, there's just tons of benefits to going out and fighting these Sentinels. And the Royal Multi-Tools look awesome, and I can't wait to find the blue and silver one that I want. Hopefully this helped you out, and if it did, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. Every time I think I'm done with No Man's Sky content, I get 5 more ideas, so I don't see any end in sight here. And hopefully you guys want to come along for the ride. But until next time, folks, thank you again for watching, and we'll see you soon. Bye.